Good morning, everybody. My name's Amanda, and I'm from the Strawberry Moon Homestead. Today, I'd like to show you how to can your own chicken broth. Last fall, I had butchered some of my laying hens and frozen them for broth. While readying the freezer for more harvest, I decided it was time to fill our pantry with more canned broth. I simmered the chicken with added carrots, celery, onion, rosemary, sage, and garlic scapes, all from the garden. It is simmered for 12 hours, creating a lovely and hearty broth. Having canned broth is so easy to pull out for a quick and healthy soup in the wintertime. Chicken broth is a really wonderful and healthy addition to your pantry, and it's really easy to make. I've had mine going for about 12 hours now, and I'm ready to can it. I have my jars here that have been sterilized and cleaned, and they're just a bit warm, so I'm going to start pouring my broth into my jars. My children love to help out in the kitchen, and during canning season, I almost always have a helper ready to lend a hand. Today, my daughter chose to help by ladling the soup into the jars. I find teaching traditional skills to our children is a vital part of their upbringing. So many of these skills have been lost through the generations. I think it's important to teach our children how to look after themselves by growing their own food, preserving it, how to hunt and fish, and how to prepare nutritious food for their own families. There are so many benefits to homemade chicken broth. It's basically free to make, and with the food inflation the way it is, the more free food we can get, the better. Bone broth is made with the parts of the animal that we normally discard, and it's full of protein and collagen. With homemade broth, you can control the quality of the product that you make. Our hens lived a happy life full of good feed, kitchen scraps, and garden delights. And the herbs and veggies that I used were fresh and organic straight from the garden. So I know that this broth will be as healthy as possible. Canning your own broth also ensures that you have nourishing food in your pantry, and it makes for a quick meal to pull out and throw some veggies and beans in for a quick soup, or to cook rice in for added nutrition, or to make a quick gravy. To can broth, you'll need a pressure canner, mason jars, lids, and screw tops. I also use a canning funnel and a jar lifter for the hot jars. You'll start by ladling your hot broth into your clean, warm jars, leaving 1 inch of headspace at the top. Then after, I like to take a clean cloth and rub the tops of the jar with vinegar. This will clean off any fat or particles that might hinder your lids from sealing. You can also take this time to run your fingers over your lids to check for any cracks or chips that would also keep your jars from sealing. You can then put your lid on and screw your screw top on finger tight. Before I filled my jars, I put water in my pressure canner, about 2 inches up. There is a line in my pressure canner where I can see that I fill it up to. I then put a splash of vinegar in my water, which keeps the jars from becoming cloudy during the canning process. So I've been letting the pressure release from my canner for 10 minutes now in a steam that comes straight up from the top. I've just put on my poundage gauge I'm using 15 poundage. It will start at 10 pounds at sea level, but increase as you go up in elevation. So you'll want to check your elevation to know what kind of poundage you're going to use. I will can this for 25 minutes, starting the timer when my gauge starts to jiggle. When the 25 minutes is up, you do not want to release the pressure on your pressure canner. You're just going to let it naturally come down when you turn the burner off. And once the pressure is all gone from your pressure canner, you can open it. But if you release it too quick, you can cause your jars to break. So you don't want to be doing that. I find my canner takes at least an hour to cool down and release all of its pressure. I can then open it and take my broth out. I find that most of my jars have already sealed by this point, but if yours haven't, just wait a bit and you'll hear the telltale ding when it seals. If some don't seal, either use it right away or take off the lid, clean the top again, put a new lid on, and try again. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to post any questions below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.